Hello everyone, I'm just doing a little guide for Hyrule Warriors. I'm going to discuss some basics, some advanced stuff, and just different technicals in this game and warrior games in general. The reason I'm choosing to do a guide for this game is because due to the Zelda collaboration, there's going to be a lot of people playing a Warriors game for their first time, or maybe people that have very limited Warriors experience. So I'm just going to go over some of the technicals. I'm going to use Impa because she does a good job of displaying the mechanics I want you to understand. Okay, so first thing I'm going to talk about are the cancels. If you watch Impa's attacks normally, she has a very long recovery time where she flips the sword back up into her case. When you do that, it just slows the pace of the gameplay and it leaves you really vulnerable in certain situations. So I'm going to show you the cancels that will allow you to speed up the gameplay and make you more mobile. The most basic one is just to use a dash. Once you dash, it gives you the option to be evasive, more mobile, and it lets you follow up and perform extended combos in certain situations. So you see the difference from that to this. It's much faster, it's much more mobile. It just makes the pacing of the gameplay more enjoyable. So I'm gonna fight a little bit. I'm not gonna use any cancels right now. I'm just gonna let you watch the regular pacing of the game without canceling. You'll notice the long recovery times that Impa has. She has really long recovery times if you don't use cancels. And these enemies, they're just weak peon enemies, so it's not really a big deal to cancel or not cancel, but you still want to sort of build up canceling into your muscle memory and make it a regular thing that you do. Now I'm going to go into this area and I'm going to use some canceling and show you different ways that I can clear the room quickly. Or actually, first I'm going to show you another cancel before I go in there. You have the sub-weapon cancel. This is unique to this game due to the sub-weapon system, but much like the evasion canceling, you just use a sub-weapon. And that cancels your animation. You can also cancel the sub-weapons animation with a roll, but a lot of the sub-weapons have fast recovery compared to normal attacks, so you can mix that up however you want between rolls and sub-weapons, and some sub-weapons have interesting properties. Like I'm going to show you with the bow. The bow will freeze the enemy, which will allow me to do some follow-up combos. Let me try this again. So there you go. I froze him in midair, and then I was able to follow up with a juggle combo, and then I used another dash cancel. So you see, I keep using the dash cancels and sub-weapon cancels that allow me to keep pressuring him. Now in this area, you just have to kill enemies quickly to capture areas, and if I use cancels, I can clear them really fast. So I'm just going to show you an example of doing that. I'm going to get rid of this guy first. And I'm just going to use her C3. This is her area clearing move in conjunction with the roll cancels. So this is just going to let me take out all these enemies really fast. There's not a lot of enemies in this area. It could be faster, but okay. So now the keeper of this area, I'm going to show you some combos on him. I'm going to get the boomerang. The boomerang can cause stun. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dizzy him. I'm going to launch him for an air juggle. So I threw the boomerang to keep him in a juggle state, and then I just go in for a juggle combo. And you can just kind of mix it up. This game's pretty flexible with how you can mix your moves up, so you just kind of experiment with your moveset, see what different things you like and different ways you can mix them. I'm going to try to find a boss character because boss characters behave a little differently from the standard characters. and I'm going to show you different ways you can fight them more effectively, because they're able to escape from your combos, and they're much more aggressive, so you have to approach them differently from these normal enemies. So right now I'm just going to clear this area quickly, just using my dash cancels and mixed in conjunction with her C3. And when I say C3, I mean her combo finisher 3. That's just an abbreviation that players use. Actually, that might be her combo 4, I don't know. Just the water ball one, that's her area clearing move. So you see there's the sub weapon cancel to keep them juggled. Okay, I just have to capture the other keep over here, and then a boss will appear, and then I'll show you how you handle fighting bosses in this game. Well, I'll just, let me pull out the bombs real quick. You can kind of do some interesting stuff with the bombs. They're not that useful compared to the boomerang and the arrow in my opinion, but you can still do some stuff with them. They cause a launch effect, so they're good for doing juggle combos in certain scenarios, but you have to space your attacks right to follow up with it, because it has a... You can only use it effectively after certain finishes. But you see right here, he's in a knockdown state. I can send him airborne and then juggle him from there. Okay, the boss is gonna come out now, or I gotta capture the area first. Okay, so a boss is gonna appear soon. I'm just going to discuss how you can fight a boss effectively. The bosses in this game, they're really unique compared to other Warriors games because of how defensive they are. Normally you can just straight up juggle most bosses to death in other Warrior games, besides a couple of the crossover games like the Gundam ones and stuff. Okay, so here we are, we finally have a boss, and I'm just gonna try to get him to fight me. Okay, now if you start attacking a boss while they're in a neutral state, which means they're not attacking or anything, they're usually gonna start guarding your attacks. In situations like that, you wanna just do like a couple hits here or there and then roll away and look for a chance to counterattack. Now, what you can do if you want to fight them without using the weak point system is you can look for opportunities to evade and counter them. So you see, I waited for him to attack, and then I attacked him from behind with my launcher, so that was allowing me to do a juggle combo on him. Now I'm going to pull out my bow. You can do, it's hard to do sub-weapon cancel stuff on bosses, but it's possible. They can be dizzied and frozen and stuff like that, but they usually just guard at random in the middle of your attacks regardless. Okay. Alright, so we have more space here. Now I'm just going to attack him from behind. In the middle of his attack, you can follow up with a pretty decent combo. You want to try to juggle them. If you let them stay on the ground, they're going to start guarding. So if you can put them airborne, that's going to help you get the best combo you can get. So you see, as I tried to attack him on the ground, he was able to guard quickly. But you see, now I'm gonna... Ooh, sorry, I missed him. So now I'm gonna juggle him. So as you can see, I'm just using a combination of all the different stuff I've been talking about throughout the video. The roll cancels. I haven't been using the sub-weapon cancels too much, but they're viable. They're more situational, but they're viable and they're worth looking into. Like, for instance, against this guy, against guys like this, you can do really nice combos to finish them off, like with the bow. Well, he's already dead, but the bow is really good for extended juggle combos because once you hit them, it freezes them for a couple seconds. The boomerang is the one I like to use the most when they're more defensive, because you can have the chance to dizzy them. Once you dizzy them, you can kind of set up a charge attack of your choice from a long distance, because once you hit them, the dizzy wears off, so you can kind of build up into your combo chain as far as you want before hitting them at a distance. Okay, so I'm gonna do a sub-weapon cancel here. So you see, I'm just keeping him juggled with sub-weapon cancels. He was guarding me, so I'm gonna dizzy him, and then I'm gonna launch him. And you see, I use another sub-weapon cancel to dizzy him again. It's all pretty basic. You know, once you've been playing warrior games as much as I have and doing this stuff that long, it's all pretty natural. It's second nature. But I've watched a ton of footage on this game from the release of the Japanese version, and there's like almost every single person besides like longtime veterans was playing the game without using the cancels and the different mechanics. So the gameplay just looked really slow, and they were having troubles in situations you wouldn't have troubles in if you were using the cancels. It just makes the game more fun, it makes it more fluid, it gives you more options, and it just adds more variety. You know, some people find these games really repetitive, so this kind of thing adds more variety to the experience instead of it just feeling like a more linear mashing hack and slash, or however you look at it. Hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Hopefully you were able to learn something from it. This is my first time doing a commentary guide like this, so I tried my best to make it useful. I know I kind of probably repeated a lot of things several times, but I wanted to do this just to give you guys some heads up on the different things you can do in this game. And let me know if you have any questions in the comments or any requests you want to see. Thank you. Bye.